Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. So welcome to the mock interview.
Thank you, sir.
From where you are attending the interview?
Currently in Bhopal, sir.
Currently in Bhopal. Good. BTech. Good hobbies. You are in service? You have joined some service?
Yes, sir. In the IPS, sir.
In IPS. Good. Very good. And
Thanks.
one of your hobbies teaching school children, underprivileged. How you develop this hobby, Ayan?
Sir, I have taught underprivileged children as a part of my NSS activities and in my first and second year of college. Sir, it was an opportunity provided by the NSS. And when I joined, I enjoyed it. So I decided to continue for quite some time, sir. Later, I also became the project in charge at the same place where I had volunteered.
Good, very good. Now, there are many laws and many institutions which are working to protect the children from exploitation and for their welfare. So can you outline some of the laws and some of the institutional mechanism for their welfare?
The first I would say is the constitutional provision of Article 24, which ensures that child labor is prohibited.
Laws,
Consequently,
laws. Yeah,
sorry,
laws.
sir. Sorry, sir. Sir, first is a law that prevents child labor that has enhanced the constitutional
What
mandate.
is the name? What is the name of the law?
Sir, if I recall correctly, it is a Child Labor Prohibition and Rehabilitation Act. But I will check again. Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Second, sir, would be the Right to Education Act of 2009. Sir, some other institutional measures, sir, the
Many
National
laws.
Sorry,
You
sir.
are not even halfway. There are many laws here. First, you
Sorry, sir.
that list.
Sir, could I take a moment to recall?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, sir. So one more law is the Juvenile Justice Act, which also deals with similar issues. Sir, at the moment, I'm only able to recall these. Sorry, sir.
Anything related to child marriage, to prevent child marriages?
Yes, sir. There is the Child Marriage Prohibition Act,
Anything
sir.
related to protect them from sexual harassment?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. The POXO Act.
Read about the laws. Now we
Yes,
come
sir.
to the institutions. Which are the institutions?
Sir, one is the
meant to protect and for the welfare of children.
Sir, one is the National Human Rights Commission, which also deals with matters related to children.
Human rights is actually for everyone.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking for the children.
Sir,
specifically for children.
Yes, sir.
Specifically for children.
Sir, one is the CARA, the Child Adoption Regulation Authority. Sir, I'm not able to recall the name of Child Rights Commission. Sir, there is also a portal called the Pencil Portal to deal with matters related to child labor. Sir, I'm not sure if there are specialized courts also for dealing with these issues, sir.
Read more on that. Now
Yes,
tell
sir.
me, what is CARA?
Yes.
You were mentioning about CARA. What is CARA?
Yes. Sir, it is an authority to deal with regulations related to adoption. For example, to decide if certain persons adopting a particular child is not permitted by law. Also to impose rules such as two male couples cannot adopt a girl child. It is to ensure that adoption is done in a safe manner and ensures the welfare of the child
What
being
is the
adopted.
status of CARA? It is NGO or it is government body? What is the status of CARA?
Sorry, sir, I will have to check, sir.
Yeah, you have to check it because it is very important.
Yes, sir.
Adoption is not a small thing, it's a very big thing. Okay. So read
Yes,
more
thank
about
you,
it,
sir.
Ayan. Thank you. Well, sir.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
very
much, sir.
much, Chair. Ayan, I must say I'm very impressed with your credentials. You have done BTech Electrical Engineer.
Yes,
Have
sir.
you the budget yesterday, the highlights?
Sir, I went through it. Yes, sir.
Now, one of the interesting provisions that has been made is for the solar rooftop panels. And the Prime Minister is saying that every household will be saving up 15,000, 18,000 rupees because of the scheme. How do you explain that?
Yes, sir. Sir, solar rooftop has been a push in the last few weeks, particularly after the PM Suryodaya Yojana was launched. Sir, one of the major benefits of this will be that people will be able to generate their own electricity. This will not only reduce the requirement of purchasing electricity, reducing their burden, but
Ayan,
sorry,
simple
sir.
question, simple answer, no.
Very sorry, sir.
My question
Uh,
was, how do you explain 15,000 to 18,000 rupees saving for the Indian household? Just one line answer if you can.
Very sorry, sir. Sir, because they will generate electricity, they will have to purchase less, so their bill will get reduced, sir. Also, there are subsidy benefits up to 300 units, sir.
Okay, good. And who will foot the bill on the solar panel, which I think is going to be something about 3.5 or 4 lakh?
Sir, in my knowledge, solar panels are available in all ranges and all costs. But, sir, certainly the government is providing subsidies on their installments, sir.
So essentially, and just say yes or no, government providing subsidies on the Suryodaya scheme, something costing about at least 3 lakh per solar unit panel for 1 crore household, so that they can get a free electricity of something about 15,000 to 18,000 rupees. Is that the correct way of my putting it?
Sir, as per my knowledge, sir, I believe the answer would be no. But I will have to recheck the statistics and facts related to this, sir.
When you say when you say no, the no has to have a basis.
Yes, sir. Sir, in my knowledge, the solar panels are costing up to rupees 15,000 to 30,000 rupees. Sir, I will check on that once again. Sorry.
Because the social panel is not just buying the panel, it is installation of the panel, integration with
Yes, sir.
it, or integration with the house circuit. It's a whole cost. Anyway, all right.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Another question on the budget. Another highlight of the budget is 11 trillion rupees of capex, right?
Yes, sir.
And the borrowings of another 14 trillion, right or wrong?
Yes, yes, sir.
Isn't it rather a mismatch or a very warped way of managing the budget that you are borrowing such a huge amount of capex?
Sir, I believe that the current economic situation of India has immense opportunity, and to harness it, we do require a lot of borrowing to also fulfill our demographic dividend, sir. And the outcome will be in favor, so it is justified, sir.
It is justified. What percentage is the borrowing of the total GDP?
Sir, sorry, the last part got cut, sir. Some internet issue.
What percentage is the borrowing in relation to our total GDP?
Sir, could I just calculate, sir?
Those in the budget figures. Anyway, please do and tell me.
Yes. Sir, from it percentage of budget, it is around almost 30%. And sir, of GDP, sir, total borrowing we have had is close to 70%. But I will recheck one. Sorry, sir.
It's a huge number.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Last question. Global South is a very ambitious that India has. What can India do to bring Global South close to India?
Sir, one would be playing a more active leadership role in matters which affect these countries, such as climate change and terrorism.
One. Number
Secondly,
two.
sir, secondly would be organizing more meetings and summits of the leaders. Thirdly, sir, would be pushing for reforms in the UN. Sorry, sir.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Sorry, sir. Third, sir, would be programs or initiatives in a joint manner to promote more economic connectivity. Third, sir, I would say is building cultural and people-to-people links between the countries.
Let us go to the economic connectivity. Has India done anything at all so far to promote economic connectivity with these countries?
Yes, sir. Sir, with our neighborhood, especially, India has been pushing several initiatives. For example, the IMT Kaladan, IMT for more regional connectivity. Sir, for trade also, we have been increasing our trade with the neighboring countries. From digital connectivity also, we have incentivized them to take up UPI and other initiatives. Sir, the India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor will also contribute to economic connectivity.
Okay.
And sir,
Thank you
yeah,
much. Thank you.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Poonam ji?
Ji, sir. Ayan, good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the
Good
name
morning.
of, what is the meaning of Ayan?
Ma'am, it means eternal bliss. It also means gift of God.
Okay, excellent. Now, mathematics is your optional. When is the
Yes,
National Mathematics Day?
Ma'am, it is on Ramanujan's birthday. If I recall correctly, it is 11th December or 12th December, ma'am.
Close to it. Yeah,
Sorry.
Ramanujan. Who was Ramanujan?
Ma'am, Srinivas Ramanujan, born on 22nd December, sorry, I believe, 1887, is one of the most competent mathematicians the world has seen. His contribution has been in in coming up with intuitive infinite series for several expressions. For example, he has worked in the area of partitions and also in string theory, and several of his conjectures are still being proved, ma'am.
All right.
Some
And when is
common-
the International Mathematics Day?
Ma'am, the 14th March is usually considered the International
Why?
Mathematics Day. Ma'am, because 14th March represents 3.14, which are the first two digits of pi.
Pi value. All right. Now, how do you define zero?
Ma'am, zero is a representation of nothingness. It is also defined as a number which, when added to any other number, yields the second number again.
You call it a number?
Ma'am, in my understanding, it is usually considered a number. It is a part of whole numbers, ma'am.
All right. Chess. How does your, what should I say? The competence in chess affects mathematics directly.
Ma'am, first would definitely be the analytical abilities that I have gained from chess. Second, ma'am, the more futuristic and calculative thinking, not only thinking about the present but future, that is important in mathematics to understand linkages between.
Plan and strategize. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
absolutely right. Now, chess was known as what earlier?
Ma'am, one name in India is Shatranj.
Before that?
Ma'am, another name was Chaturbhanga.
Chaturanga.
Thank you, ma'am. Sorry,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And there is a little controversy. I couldn't, clearly make out whether chess moved from India to China or from China backwards to India. Do you have any idea?
Ma'am, at present, there are multiple theories regarding the origin of chess. One of them suggests that chess was originated in India in the 7th century. One of them also talks about it being developed in one of the Arabic countries. Because, ma'am, we also see that the term Shahmat is a Persian name. So, ma'am, as of now, it has not been concluded.
It hasn't been concluded. All right. It says FIDE rating of 1321. The rating starts from where? Earlier it used to start from 1400, but you say your rating is 1321.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, when I got the rating, and up till last year, the rating system started from the rating of 1000. But just in December 2023, the late December, new rating system has been approved. And once again, ratings will now begin from 1400.
1400. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So who's the world champion?
Ma'am, currently Ding Liren in the open section and Zhu Wenjun in the women's section.
What about Carl Magnus Carlsen?
Ma'am, yes, sorry, ma'am. Ma'am, I mentioned for the classical chess, but for rapid chess and blitz chess, currently Magnus Carlsen is the champion, and he is the overall highest rated player now.
But why didn't he defend the title last year?
Ma'am, he is a 5-time champion, and he mentioned that
5-time or 7-time? No, sorry, you're right.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, he mentioned that
Kasparov is 7 times.
Ma'am, I believe so. Ma'am, I'll check that.
Yeah.
Ma'am, Magnus Carlsen mentioned that playing in the World Championship is a extremely taxing activity, and he did not have enough motivation to play. He
All
had, in
right.
fact, yes, ma'am.
Have you heard the name Pragyananda?
Yes, ma'am.
What is his achievement?
Ma'am, he is one of the rising stars of India. Ma'am, he also had the highest rating of India for a few days, 2 weeks ago. He has, ma'am, he reached the finals of the World Chess Championship against Magnus Carlsen, and he is amongst the youngest grandmasters also, ma'am.
Of the world. Has
Currently,
he
he
overtaken?
is,
Would we say he has overtaken Vishwanathan?
ma'am, if we look at the peak rating, then Vishwanathan Anand is still quite a bit far ahead.
Far ahead
But
of him.
ma'am, yes,
All
ma'am.
right.
But yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Now, what is Bug House? You've written Bug House.
Ma'am, Baghaus is a variant of chess. It is played in 2 versus 2, where the boards are connected in the sense that pieces captured
Cross.
on.
Okay. Okay,
Yes,
fine. Now, anti-ragging. You've been to an IIT. IIT is notorious for ragging. So what are your views on anti-ragging? What are the laws on anti-ragging? Are there any laws to prevent it? Or is it a good thing?
Ma'am, in my own experience, IIT Delhi had a zero tolerance policy towards ragging, and so there was no ragging at all. In other IITs, also strict measures have been taken, and so, ma'am, the frequency of ragging has reduced significantly. Ma'am, certainly I'm not in favor of ragging, keeping in mind the drastic consequences it often has. Sometimes, ma'am, it affects the mental health of children who
That
also
is when you take it to the nth degree. But
Yes, ma'am.
otherwise, it's a good icebreaker.
Ma'am, I believe there are alternatives to icebreakers which can be regulated by seniors and
All
professors
right.
also.
All right. What are the 4 pillars of development in this present budget?
Ma'am, just to clarify, ma'am, the 4 priority areas or the overall pillars of.
They have been termed as the 4 overall pillars of development in the budget.
Yes, ma'am.
We
Ma'am,
talk
sorry,
of
ma'am.
4 pillars of democracy, but here we are talking of 4 pillars of development.
Ma'am, I read it in the highlights, ma'am, but ma'am, I'm able to recall digital public infrastructure as one of them. But ma'am, sorry, ma'am, I'll revisit it.
No. How is this year's budget speech different from earlier years? The speech reflects what does it focus on and what is it focusing on?
Ma'am, one major difference is that it is an interim budget, ma'am, and it is the first interim budget speech of Shri Nirmala Sitharaman ji.
No, that doesn't matter. An
Sorry.
interim budget doesn't matter. Normally, what does the speech focus on? Read on that.
Ma'am, usually. Yes,
Read on
ma'am.
that. What is the difference between vote
Sorry.
on account and interim budget?
Ma'am, interim budget, ma'am, vote on account is usually about the request for expenditure for the next few months, whereas the interim budget may also have new measures or new initiatives taken up. Ma'am, but I will gain more clarity on this now.
Seek the sharper difference. Okay.
Yes,
Now, why has the budget said that population from a demographic dividend, it has, constituted a high-powered committee to look into the population demographies? What could be the reason? What are the challenges?
ma'am, I believe it is from a two-sided aspect. One is that a large population has to be catered to, and it can become a pressure on the resources and
So
finances
why
of the
are we
state.
saying that, the youth is the dividend? From a youth bulge, we have shifted, the narrative has shifted.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, keeping in mind the human capital growth in India, the youth are in a much better position to contribute to India's growth and economic progress.
Growth or to vote?
Ma'am, certainly political motives might be there.
Okay. My last question. Our foreign aid has been reduced in this budget. Which are the top 3 countries where we have reduced? Which are the top 3 countries where we have increased? Why?
Ma'am, extremely sorry, ma'am. I'm yet to see in depth now.
There was a controversy about Maldives.
Yes, ma'am.
So in that context, think.
Ma'am, certainly we have to maintain our relations with our neighboring countries.
So
and
have we
also,
increased or decreased?
Ma'am, I believe we might have decreased, keeping in mind the controversy, but ma'am,
All
there are
right,
multiple.
just read on that. Thank you so much.
Are you in the NPA or on leave or you're ready to join the IPS?
Sir, I have joined and then taken extraordinary leave.
How many days?
Sir, only 3 days, sir.
So you came to Bhopal.
Yes, sir.
When is your interview?
13th March, sir.
Now, the new laws have been made, Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, Bharatiya Nagarika Suraksha Samhita, and Sakshi Samhita. What is your view insofar as their potential to improve the basic standards of living of the countrymen of Bharat is concerned?
Sir, one would certainly be that the entire focus has shifted from punishment to justice. That will see its effect, sir. Secondly, sir, talking about certain offenses which have been decriminalized, such as adultery, that will make a difference, sir. Thirdly, also some offenses which have been now punishable, such as mob lynching or Deshdroh, those will again have an effect on people, sir.
What about Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Samhita? Earlier it used to be Criminal Procedure Code, 1973, which is nothing but, 1872, the Macaulay Act. We have changed it. In fact, the Macaulay Act 1872 was much better than 1973 one, because it used to give a lot of powers to the court police, and court police was accountable. Now nobody is accountable, and so that's why the pendency of the cases are going on. We agree on that. But in what way Nagarik Suraksha Samhita, which is not a criminal procedure code but protection, from criminality to protection side we are moving, because it's a governance doctrine insofar as the criminal justice system is concerned. How are you proposing, as you are already an IPS officer, how are you proposing to implement it so that there will be less corruption or no corruption in the, at least in the your domain, the police stations?
Sir, one would be with regards to the filing of FIR, whether we look at e-FIR or zero FIRs, these have to be ensured that they are not misused and are completely convenient for the people. Secondly, sir, regarding the timelines for the inquiry before filing the charge sheet, it has to be ensured that there are no lacunae investigation. Thirdly, sir, regarding the police custody, the provisions have allowed custody up to, I believe, 14 days, which can be done in which can be done in steps and stages, sir. This has to be ensured it doesn't lead to a restriction on the person's liberty, sir.
Now, without capacity building, capacity utilization or efficiency utilization, how are you going to achieve? Merely by changing or rechristening the name is not going to do wonders.
Sir, certainly the acts alone may not make a groundbreaking change, but sir, they are a step in the right direction, and with the right training and the right focus on the policing.
Now, I'm asking you, as Commissioner of Police, how are you going to do it? You don't need funds for that. You have nowadays MA PhDs are also joining as home guards. That is the situation in many parts of the country. So how are you going to, how are you going to cull the talent rather than kill the talent and use it for the purpose?
Sir, first would be the training of police personnel. Sir, focusing on emerging crimes, number one, such as cyber crimes, financial crimes. Secondly, sir, training in soft skills and interaction abilities of police personnel.
Okay.
Thirdly, sir.
I understood. Fine.
Yes.
An equation was developed by a fellow PhD from IIT Kharagpur. Like you, he's also a fellow PhD. That equation is like this. H is equal to A minus M minus D, where H is equal to honesty, A is accountability, M is monopoly, D is discretion. What do you think of its applicability and its scaling up potentiality from rural banks of India to Reserve Bank of India?
Sir, I certainly do see a high level of practical application of this scheme. Sir, when we talk about banking directly, accountability, first of all, will
You are forgetting the equation. You emphasize the equation.
Sorry, sir.
Applicability comes later. What is this software? Software is A is equal to M minus M, H is equal to A minus M minus D. You agree with that?
Yes. Sir, I do believe, while it may not be a very precise explanation, but this definitely does hold, sir. Where there is scope of discretion, then honesty can sometimes reduce. Where there is monopoly, again, there is possibility of misuse. And sir, accountability enforces a person to follow an honest path. But yes, sir, this does not always hold true, because even despite discretion or monopoly, certainly people can follow the right path. And sir, even with accountability, people may find a way around it and may not follow the right path. So, sir, this is a simplistic.
Perhaps the police officer in you would, I expect you to speak slightly, from the point of view enforceability, not from the point of view of professor of, some management or some philosophy. Please talk like a police officer, not as a professor of philosophy.
Very sorry, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Enforcement is accountability, right? So if you enforce it from the rural banks, RBI will be definitely enforced. That's what scalability means. Unless the honesty is that the police station, a mere honest DGP is nothing, right?
Yes.
We have seen many of us. Many of us means many of the DGPs. Okay. My last question to you will be, in fact, I should not say the last question, but anyway. Have you heard of Jock Welch?
Sorry, sir, could you please repeat?
Jock Welch, who was the former CEO, the late Jock Welch, who was the former CEO of, General Electric Company. If you have not heard, doesn't matter. He made one statement, extraordinary statement. And that is, the unluckiest of an employee is one who has a boss planning for the failure of such an employee. Right? How do you plan to make your team, being an IPS officer or an IAS officer, how do you plan to make your team excited, enthusiastic, empathetic with your excellence? In other words, e to the power of 4. Assuming that you are excellent, how are you going to bring these 3 other values? The E3, E cube, namely empathy, and number 2, excitement and enthusiasm in the team. Give me one practical example. Don't verbalize the main answer. It's not a main question.
Sorry, sir. Yes. Sir, one measure I would like to take is, sir, community policing. When interaction of people and police takes place.
May I?
Sir.
You are in NPA, you must have approached the library. I have been there many times. I have not seen a single research work which has done any study on the effectiveness of the so-called community policing. Those who fail in real policing, they often, to cover their failures and inefficiencies, they talk about community policing. This is my hard view. Would I express it also? Anyway, tell me.
Sir, should I give a different answer, sir?
Please do.
Make interaction programs in the sense for people to be able to see the working of the police, so that some trust and sensitivity of people is developed, and they learn to think of police as their partners. This will automatically incentivize the police personnel and the team workers to work more efficiently and wholeheartedly for the people.
I have one suggestion to you. You missed the bus. I did not speak about community policing. Police itself is a community. Inter-police relationships. Unless you treat your men as internal customers, how are you going to take the trust of the people outside? I've talked about that. Please emphasize on that point, only 30 seconds.
Sir, certainly building the dignity of police personnel, starting from constable level, is extremely important for their morale. I also feel, sir, incentivizing more women police personnel compared to current 6% will build the more diversity of police and help in this regard, sir.
I wish you come out of slightly bookish kind of answers, but anyway, it's good. Please remember 2 persons. One is the great General Manek Shah, Field Marshal. The other one is the one and the only KPS Gill. These are the persons who mastered this e to the power of 4. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Frank?
Thank you. Ayan.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You're doing very well. Keep it up.
Thank you, sir.
In engineering and in mathematics, you would have learnt about motion.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you tell me parabolic motion, prograde motion, retrograde motion, spherical motion, and elliptical motion. Examples of these in nature.
Sir, could I take a moment to think?
Sure, please.
Thank you, sir. Sir, for parabolic motion would be a simple projectile, sir. Even throwing a ball in the air in a forward direction takes a parabolic path.
That is not an example in nature.
Sorry, sir.
Okay,
Sir,
you
if I
start
may
with the
give-
easiest. Elliptical
Yes,
motion.
Sir, the movement of planets around the sun, sir.
Very good. Prograde motion.
Sorry, sir, I have not come across this term, sir.
Never.
Sir, I have come across retrograde and prograde in terms of relative planetary motions, but not otherwise, sir.
Very good. So think about it and give the answer.
Yes, sir. Sir, in planets, when the relative motion of other planets compared to the Earth are faster or slower, they are correspondingly called the prograde or retrograde, sir. They appear to be moving in different directions.
Okay, you know what? I'll help you. Planets, their movement, rotating on the axis and orbiting itself is prograde motion.
Thank you,
Yes
sir.
or
I will
no?
read more. Sir, I will gain more clarity on it, sir.
Okay, fine. Anyways, let's move out of this. Now, what is so golden about the golden curve?
Sir, just to clarify, sir, by golden curve, are you referring to the Fibonacci sequence associated curve, sir?
Yes, there is nothing else. Mathematics, I told you.
Yes, very sorry, sir. Sir, it is considered that this golden ratio and golden curve are observed extensively in nature, and the Fibonacci sequence, which is associated with the curve, is again observed in nature. Whether we talk about the human body or rabbit colonies, it is found in nature. Also considered that golden ratio brings out an attractive level of symmetry, whether we talk about humans or in nature in general, sir.
Very good. How does it express itself?
Sir, should I give examples, sir?
Yes, please.
Sir, I'm aware of examples in terms of the Fibonacci sequence, sir. For example, humans have one nose, two eyes.
Okay, let's move on.
Yes.
Okay,
Sorry, sir.
bullet.
Yes, sir.
Where does this term bullet train come from? Why is a bullet train so called?
Sir, in my understanding, it is because of the speed of the train, sir. Because the bullet moves extremely fast in a straight direction, sir.
Really, Ayan, I expected a better answer from you. Think an answer. How fast does a bullet go?
Sir, I'm not sure of the exact speed. Sorry, sir.
How fast is the fastest train?
Sorry, sir. I will have to check.
Bullet trains travel at about 300 to 400 kilometers an hour. The bullet travels much, much faster.
Yes, certainly, sir.
Now you tell me what is the answer. Think and tell me.
Sir, I can think of it as an inspiration from a bullet, sir.
No, never mind. Never mind. Let's move on
Sorry,
again.
sir.
Okay. Now, what are some of the main challenges in the Indian railways? Top 3 challenges.
Sir, one would be the financial sustainability of the railways. Second would be,
due
sir.
to what? Why is the railways financially, in trouble?
Yes. Sir, one is the heavy subsidization, sir.
What
And,
else?
Second, sir, I believe the technology also plays a role, sir. We are pushing towards.
Think outside of the railways. Think of competition.
Yes, sir. Sir, due to new modes of travel, sir, especially the airfares have come down significantly. That reduces the demand for rail travel, sir.
No, biggest money churner for the railways is freight. And the roadways
Yes.
is giving it a big competition.
Thank you for sharing, sir.
Okay, anyways, last question. Who is India's best friend?
Sir, should I mention a specific country?
I leave it up to you.
Sir, if we talk about international relations or in general, sir, I would have to say India's best friend is India itself or the people of India, sir. But
Okay, if you have to choose a country, who would you choose?
sir, it would be extremely difficult to choose, sir. I believe it also depends on the situation and time, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ayan.
Thank you, sir.
So, Ayan,
Yes,
we
sir.
will have internal discussion for 5 minutes. And after that,
Yes,
we
sir.
will invite you for the feedback session. So you wait in the waiting room for a few minutes. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So, Ayan,
Yes, sir.
now tell us, how was the interview?
Sir, I found most of the questions to be quite difficult and challenging, sir.
When is the interview?
13th March, sir.
13 March. So you have 1.5 months almost. Good.
Yes, sir.
And how many mocks you have appeared?
A good number, sir. More than 10, sir.
More than 10. And what is the advice?
Sir, it was not anything specific as such. One, I believe that I made mistake today also in some questions to give an introduction rather than directly hitting the demand of the question. And second, sir, to give more practical answers. Other than that, sir, specific weak areas were pointed out.
Which are the areas you feel you must work?
Sir, policing definitely. Sir, budget I'll have to prepare again. And sir, I think power sector also a bit more, sir.
And what about your DEF?
Yes, sir.
You have to work very hard on DEF.
Yes, sir.
Because DEF is actually filtered by you. It is, see, all other things you can say, but about DEF, it is actually with your own handwriting. Like you yourself has filled it. So you have to be very strong on that. Okay. Now let me give you our assessment. Before that, we would like to see actually where you will assess yourself on a scale of good, very good, outstanding.
Not good, sir.
Not good.
Yes, sir.
You are already an IPS.
Yes, sir.
You have to be very good or outstanding.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we grade you actually very good, but you have a potential to go to outstanding. What was the actually score in the last interview?
187, sir.
187, good, but you have actually capabilities to further increase it, okay?
Yes, sir.
Let me give our assessment and advice.
Yes.
Number one, read newspapers daily.
Yes.
In the morning. Hello?
Yes, sir.
And when you read the newspaper, keep your DEF with you and see whether there is any news or any development in the newspaper relating to your DEF entries. And
Yes.
if there is any, you make notes of that. Second, prepare question on DEF entries. You will be given the recording of the interview.
Yes. Okay,
so
sir.
you can refer to that.
Yes.
So questions, write answers on a one-page sheet. One question, answer. One question, answer. And you may make around 20-25 questions on your DEF. Okay?
Yes.
Your DEF is very important part for the interview because it has details of your academics, your home state, your background, family background, your hobbies, your interest, your awards, your cadre preference, your service preference. It has everything about you. So be strong on DEF. I will come to that actually, why I am suggesting this thing to you. Then you must know what are the important constitutional provisions, and special laws meant for the protection of SCs, STs, senior citizens, women, children, etc. And what are the institutions for their welfare? Budget, Indian economy, India's relationship with neighboring countries, foreign policy, what has been the role of United Nations and other agencies of UN in conflict zones, and what has been India's stand on those important actually issues. Okay, current affairs, you must read more. IPS, you are already, so you must be well conversant with all the important. Mr. Ramesh asked actually questions about important laws. You must be very strong on that. And what will be your role as a police officer? community policing is a very general sort of answer, which is not expected from an IPS officer. Something out of the box. You have to give the answer. Okay. Now I come to the strength. Your communication skills are very good. You are confident. You can explain the issue. You know the subject. But in spite of all these qualities, expectations of the panel will be high. You know it. Why
Yes.
expectations will be high?
Because I'm already in service, sir.
Yeah, you are already in Indian Police Service. And when I was asking you about your hobby, you were working for the children.
Yes.
In the children. And when you know actually that issue will definitely come, definitely come in either form on children, you didn't know what Kara is. But
Yes.
you still brought Kara into discussion without knowing that one member has handled the Kara actually. So it will be very difficult for you. And honestly, you didn't know anything about Kara, na?
Yes, sir.
Kara is actually what Kara stands for what?
Sir, I believe it is Children Adoption Resource Authority.
Yeah. This is actually Child Resource Authority under the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Okay. And now, from where it comes? It comes from the Juvenile Justice Act. There are two acts. You were referring to which act? You mentioned actually the act, but you were
Yes.
mentioning about the 1986 Act.
Yes, sir.
That was the Juvenile Justice Act. But after that, in 2015, there is amendment. And
Yeah.
now it is called what?
Sir, it is a larger name, but I didn't remember.
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
sir.
Now it is Juvenile Justice Care and Protection Act, 2015.
Yes, Sasati.
So,
Sorry, sir. Slight net issue was there.
yeah. So you must know actually the specific act. This is the most important act for the child protection and welfare.
Yes.
And Kara actually comes under this act. And what is the procedure, who can adopt, and when a child can be legally free. You know it? The child has to be legally free. And who will declare a child legally free? Who will declare?
Not sure, sir. Not aware.
Child Welfare Committee. So you read actually, I'm just giving you an example.
Yes,
When
sir.
you yourself bring something into discussion, you should be thorough in that.
Yes.
Okay. If you explain it in detail, then from very good you go to the outstanding. This is one example. There are many
Yes.
other questions also. So be very specific. Listen to the question. What the panel member wants from you. Think about it, structure it, then give the response. The first thing should be that important points should come first. When anyone is asking for institutional and legal mechanism for children, in legal mechanism, the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection Act come first, then second, third, fourth, like this. So be very specific. Most important points should be first. It
Yes.
should not go to third or fourth place. Feel confident, be attentive all the time.
Yes.
And don't evade the question. Answer it.
Okay.
Give your logic. Give your arguments. If you find it is very difficult, give both the sides. And then
Yes.
take side of the law, an Indian constitution. You will never go wrong.
Yes.
But good personality, expectations are very high. As of now, you are between very good and outstanding. But you have to be slightly out of the box.
Yes.
And giving actually your suggestion and your stand. You have any question, any doubts?
Mr. Chair, before you start,
Haji.
Yes.
I just want to make one or two suggestions to you, Ayan.
Yes.
Normally, I don't, but I've I'm doing it because I think you will be able to make it to either IAS or IFS. One or two suggestions.
Yes.
What has been mentioned to you already, but I'm going to put it in a bit of a different form. When you answer, you seem to be looking for an endorsement or approval from the board member, whether your answer is good or not. You are a grown-up. You have your own mind. Think.
Yes.
If your answers are going to be guided by whether we approve it or not, whether your parents approve it or not, then that is not the sign of maturity.
Yes.
Okay, you have to display some maturity and not look for endorsement or approval all the time. It
Yes.
happens, number one. Number two, you need to basically go beyond just what you read. For example, Global South, when I asked you the question, what should India be doing? You talked about connectivity, you talked about IMEC, you talked about this and that. Simple thing. What do the developing countries need? They need resources. They need
Yes.
money. They need countries to, what are we looking for? We need USA, France, UK to come and invest in India. They expect India to support them financially and through resources. And we are doing a lot of this thing. For example, construction of Parliament House in Afghanistan, tourist projects in Maldives. In Sri Lanka, we again contribute to training, etc., etc. So that's a kind of a thing that really goes, not the words only.
Yes.
So basically, just go beyond to read and try and think as to what is going to be okay. That's all.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any question, any doubts?
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
So you are good. There is no doubt about it. But work hard. Time is on your
Yes.
side and you will make it. But just go into the details. More contents, more logic.
Yes.
Chairman Saab, I'll take only 30 seconds.
Dr. Ramesh, yeah, please.
Mr. Jain, please understand
Yes,
that you are from the police service. So you are deaf. You'll be like your Indian Express and Hindu written by you. Because that will expect the questions and questions will be tough.
Yes.
And questions will be tough from your IIT. And I just wanted to know from you, you got 32nd rank in the IIT JEE. Was coming to civil
Yes.
services a dream of your childhood dream?
No, sir. It was not. It was a possibility for me, but I had not finalized it, sir.
No. Coming to civil services, was it your childhood dream?
No, sir. I had not finalized it as a childhood dream, sir. I explored it in my first and second year, sir.
Okay. Your father is in civil services already.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now you expect these kind of questions, and please understand, you must grow up beyond your Kurukshetra Yojana kind of thinking.
Yes.
When you are asked to, because you are no longer an aspirant, you are already a civil servant.
Yes.
So you must answer more like a civil servant in practice, wants to improve your rank and serve the people in a much better way. There may be questions about IPS and IAS. Which is better, which serves better, this kind of things, corruption, IFS versus IAS. So many tricky questions will come. There are no standard answers. It all depends on the situation. But maintain the smile. And there may be a question about your mathematics. I'm very happy that you chose mathematics. You continue with that. And
Yes.
Dr. Sri Frank asked you about the bullet train. Perhaps the answer would have been, it is shaped as a bullet because aerodynamics to save the energy. Answer
Yes.
like an engineer. Answer like an engineer. You are an engineer. Take pride in that. Okay. All the very best to you. I have predicted your score without knowing it, 70%. I am now predicting your score. You will go to 80. You must score more than 215, 216. And let me know. All the
Thank
best.
you, sir. Yes. Thank you very much.
So all the best, Ayan.
Thank you, sir.
All the best, Ayan.
Thank you.
Yes.